morning session, we discussed about the nomination of candidates, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What all things we discussed in the nomination of candidate? First is about the minimum age to become a
Can
candidate,
candidates
5 years.
minimum age should be 25
What is the
years old.
voting ages?
25.
Voting age,
I'm 18.
18. And if you want to become a candidate for the Lok Sabha or the state legislative assembly election, you must have a minimum 25 years or more. Then there are restrictions, some restrictions on the people with criminal records. That may be in the extreme cases only. Then the candidate, what they want to do if they are uh, a candidate from a particular political party, we call it as a party ticket, right?
Yes,
So, yes, if a political party nominate their candidates who get the party symbol and support, and the party nomination is also called as party ticket. Party ticket means they are nominated by a political party and they can use that particular party's symbol in the election. Then after that, they also want to give a legal declaration about what all things? About the criminal cases pending against them, about the assets and liabilities, and also their educational qualification. Along with the nomination form, they want to fill a nomination form and also want to give a security with them. Now there is a Supreme Court order is there. Every candidate must give a declaration related to these three matters. Which are they? Which all details they want to give?
Ma'am, pending criminal activity,
Criminal cases, then
assets and
assets and
liabilities.
one more is there.
education qualification.
Educational qualification. Very good. Educational qualification. But educational qualification is not compulsory for a politician. That also we discussed. Right? Education
Yes, ma'am.
qualification is not compulsory for a politician. It may be because one reason is if education is compulsory, some people will not get a chance to participate in the election. And the another one is, what is the second reason?
Some educated people sometimes cannot understand or express
Yes.
the need of people.
Yes, very good. So that are the two reasons we discussed. And also for some profession, education is not compulsory. That's why it is not mandatory for a politician to become well educated. But nowadays, so many educated persons are there in the politics. Okay, that's a topic we discussed in the morning. And the next step is after nomination of the candidates, the next step is election campaigns. Have you heard about campaigns? Giving nomination and also election campaigns. What do you mean by election campaigns?
It's the time where the candidates and politicians try to attract the voters to give
Okay,
and
what
say
all things they will do in their
they will promise many
they will
well,
give many promises, right? And also their campaign have a particular slogans. Have you heard about any such slogans in the related to election? See, the last state legislative assembly election in Kerala, the Communist Party used a slogan that may be very familiar to you. LDF will come, everything will be all right. Have you heard about it? No?
yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Then at the same time, all other political parties, the Congress also have another slogan like governance should continue, Kerala will grow. BJP, they come up with another slogan, Kerala as its roads end, BJP is there to show the way. So in a campaign, they are using different slogans to attract the voters. So the election campaign. In the election campaigns in India take place for 2 weeks starting from the declaration of final list of candidates. So if the nomination is given, after that there will be a final list. They will get this time to withdraw their nomination form, and also if the election commission found any mistakes or anything in their nomination, it will be rejected. So after all that, a final list of nomination will be declared by the election commission. And the candidates will start their campaigning in India before 2 weeks. Not only from 2 weeks, they will start it 1 month before itself, but when the final list will come, they will make it more seriously. And also it will be concluded 48 hours before the date of polling. That is also important. The campaigns will be entered before 48 hours of polling. So before the 2 weeks, they will start the election campaigns. That means after the final list will be declared, the election campaigns will be there, and it will be entered 48 hours before the date of polling. Suppose once the date of election is declared, before it's 48 hours, all the campaigns will be stopped. Rallies and everything will not be permitted before 48 hours of the election day. Then during this campaign, the candidates reach out to the voters, and the political leaders hold election meetings and rallies for informing the voters about their policies and persuading them to vote for them. So during the campaign time, what the candidates will do, they will reach out to the voters. They will go to each voter's home and they will meet them, and also the political leaders hold election meetings and rallies. The leaders will come for the election rallies and meetings for informing the voters about their policies and persuading them to vote for them. If it is a ruling party, they will say about their progress, and if it is a opposition party, they will find out the drawbacks of the ruling party. So their leaders will be there in the rallies, and also they will conduct various election meetings. And the main purpose of election is to give people a chance to choose the representatives, the government and policies they prefer. Through election only, people get a chance to choose the representatives, the government and their policies. Okay, so election campaign. These campaigns in India take place for 2 weeks, starting from the declaration of final list of candidates contesting the election, and also it will be concluded 48 hours before the date of polling. The election campaigns will be entered 48 hours before the polling. And also in the campaign, what the candidates will do, they will reach out to the voters. And also the political leaders will hold election meetings, and also they will conduct rallies. At that time, the leaders will be there in the rallies, and also they inform the voters their policies and persuading them to vote for them. What are the major policies when they came into power? What all things they will do for the people? They will give some promises, and also they will persuade the voters to vote in favor of them. Then some successful slogans used during the campaigns. I told you for the election campaigns, they are using some slogans. Like the last 2016 elections campaign slogans, I said. Like that, many of the slogans were there. And the most important that we want to study, because it is there in the textbook, so maybe 1 mark question it will be there. The one of the most important slogan is used by the Congress party led by Indira Gandhi, and that is Garibi Hatao. Have you heard about it? Garibi Hatao. That means remove
poverty.
Poverty, yes. Remove poverty. So the Congress led by Indira Gandhi, their slogan for the 1971 election was Garibi Hatao. Then for the Janata Party, they used another slogan in the election of 77, that is to save democracy. And in the Bengal, the left front, they used another slogan like land to tillers. The slogans I told you that what our government, sorry, our political parties used in Kerala for the last election. Maybe the coming election also they will use different slogans. Why? Because to attract the people. So here, Garibi Hatavo or removal of poverty was a slogan used by the Congress party led by Indira Gandhi. Then save democracy is another slogan used by the Janata Party, and land to the tillers was a slogan used by the left front in West Bengal. So for each election, different political parties will use different slogans. For what purpose? To persuade the to know the voters about their policies when they came into power, what they will do, and also to persuade the voters to vote in favor of them. Okay, so in an if in election, the election campaigns can be conducted free. Normally in the election campaigns, nobody will be interfered. But nowadays, the election commission is interfering in the campaigns. Why? If there is no interference, what will happen in the election campaigns?
Candidates can do whatever they want.
Yes, candidates can do whatever they like. That means, see, if a political party which have enough power, money and muscle power, what they will do?
They can threaten people to
Yes.
vote for them.
Yes. So they will misuse it, right? So it is necessary to regulate the election campaigns. Why the election campaigns are regulated? Because to ensure the political parties, all the political parties and candidates get a fair and equal chance to compete. Why the election campaigns are regulated? It is mainly because to get an equal chance for all the political parties and candidates in the election, or to hold a free and fair election where all the political parties and candidates can compete each other. So why we are regulating the election campaigns? As you said, if there is no regulation is there, what they will do? They will threaten the people or they will misuse it. So to avoid that and to ensure a free and fair election, there should be some regulations in the election campaigns. And what are the regulations? In an election campaigns, no party or candidates can bribe or threaten the voters. This is coming under our election laws. Why we have these election laws? Because otherwise there should not be any free and fair election. We want to regulate the election campaigns. Otherwise, it will not be conducted free and fairly. So in an election campaign, no party or candidate can bribe or threaten the voters. No one can bribe or threaten the voters. Then no one can influence or appeal the vote in the name of religion. No one can appeal the vote in the name of religion or caste. That is important. No one can appeal the vote in the name of any religion. So first one is, no one can bribe or threaten the voters. Second one, don't influence or appeal the vote in the name of religion. If I am saying we all are belonging to the same religion, so please vote for me, it is against the election laws. Then, don't use government resources for campaigns. Not permitted to use the government resources in the election campaigns. And also, the expenditure should not be exceed more than 25 lakhs for Lok Sabha election and 10 lakh for assembly election. Okay, so we have some election laws. Why these election laws? Otherwise, The election should not be held in a free and fair manner. So we have some election laws. According to that laws, no one can bribe or threaten the voters. No one can bribe or threaten the voters. Then don't appeal vote. Don't appeal the voters in the name of religion. Don't use government resources for campaigns, and also don't spend more than 25 lakhs for Lok Sabha election and 10 lakhs for assembly election. Clear, children? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Anthony, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, according to election laws, no party or candidate can bribe or threaten the voters. No one should bribe or threaten the voters. Don't appeal the vote in the name of religion, and also don't use government resources for election campaigns. The ruling party, they are not permitted to use any of the government resources for election campaign, and their expenditure for election purpose or campaign should not be exceeded more than 25 lakh for Lok Sabha election and 10 lakh for assembly election. And if they do so, what will happen? Suppose if they are doing any of these activities, what will happen?
They will be disqualified.
They will be disqualified, yes. Or they will be rejected by the court. In the court, if any of these activities were proven, what will happen? They are even though they become elected, they will be disqualified. So their election can be rejected by the court even after they has been declared elected. So election laws, which are the points coming under the election laws. No one should bribe or threaten the voters. Don't influence the voters in the name of religion. Don't use government resources for election campaigns, and also don't spend more than 25 lakh for the Lok Sabha election and 10 lakh for the assembly election. And if any of these laws were violated, what will happen? They will be disqualified. The court will reject the election, and also even though they become elected, they were declared disqualified. And again, election will be held in that particular constituency. Clear? And also along with that, there is another one, that is a code of conduct. Once the election date is declared, code of conduct will also be there for the political parties. As per the code of conduct, don't use any public place, any religious place for election propaganda. Don't use any religious place for election propaganda. That have you watched the film Velli Munga?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
In that film, you saw that in the church, what the father says. Did he compel the people to vote for a particular person? Indirect way, that is important, indirect way. Because it is prohibited to use any of the religious places, a church, a temple, or a mosque, or a gurudwara, whatever it is, don't use any of the place of worship for election propaganda. That is against the code of conduct. Okay? So don't use any place of worship for election propaganda. Then don't use government aircraft or vehicles or government officials for election purpose. Once the election date is declared, the ruling party is not permitted to use any of the government vehicle or aircraft or the officials for election purposes. And also On the announcement of election, ministers cannot take policy decisions or start any big project, or they are not permitted to lay foundation stone for any projects. These all, if they are doing anything, it will be coming under the code of conduct. It will be violated. So the code of conduct for the election campaigns include: no one will use, no political party will use any public place of worship for election propaganda. No public place, no place of worship is used for election propaganda. And also don't use any government vehicle or aircraft or officials for election propaganda. And also, once the election date is announced, ministers are not permitted to start a new policy or not permitted to lay foundation stone for a project. All the things are strictly prohibited. Till the election over, they are not able to do any such type of activities. Even now, the transfers, no activities will be held after that. Okay? Only after the election. Okay, is it clear, children, about the election campaign? Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. So in the election campaign, Anjali,
Yes, ma'am.
which slogan used by the Congress government in the election of 1971?
Garibi Hatto.
Garibi hatao, or remove poverty. Then Gauri,
Yes, ma'am.
can you say the election laws? 4 election laws we discussed.
Candidates should not bribe or threaten their voters.
Yes.
They should not appeal in the name of caste or religion.
Okay.
And they should not use government resources for election campaign. And they should not spend more than 25 lakh in constituency for Lok Sabha election and or 10 lakh in constituency in an assembly election.
That means for the state legislative assembly's election. Okay. Srihari, code of conduct.
All of you switch on your videos. So many, Amarin, Joel Jacob, Sean. Why? You have to be told every time about switching on the video.
Okay, Srihari.
The ministers are not allowed to use worship places for propagation.
No one will be permitted. Okay, not only the ministers. Election campaigns cannot
No,
be. Yes. Done in
no
a
one will be permitted to take election campaigns on the places of worship.
That is very important point. Yes. Then
And use of government vehicles, helicopters, etc. are not allowed after the declaration of election.
yes. Then
The ministers are not allowed to take any big projects or big projects after the declaration of election.
yes. All these are coming under the code of conduct. Okay, clear, children? So the two topics we discussed today, one is about the nomination of candidates and the second one is the election campaign. Is it clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
To all. Any doubt? Sean, any doubt, dear?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So read the portion, read the textbook. The next class, we can go to the last procedure of election. So the three procedures we completed. Sorry, 4 procedures, right? Which are the 4 procedures we discussed?
Ma'am, the making of electoral constituency.
Electoral constituencies. First procedure is electoral constituencies. Then second one,
Voters list.
voters list. Then
Nomination of candidates.
nomination of candidates and allotting symbols for them. And the fourth one,
Election campaign.
election campaigns. And one more is there, that is the last day polling and counting of votes. That we can take in the next class. Okay. So read the textbook, children. Hope you understood this topic. Bye all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all. Bye.